She runs! She's alive! Got myself a party light, and the party light is partying. So, well, now 8 degrees before top dead centre, maybe? Doesn't sound very happy. I'm going to play around with it and just play around with it until it sounds happy. It doesn't sound happy. Play around with it until it sounds happy, lock it down. So, well, that took an inordinate amount of faffing and tools. Strip the carburettor down again, clean a bit of muck out. The float was some reason getting stacked down. I couldn't see why. It was pouring fuel everywhere, which seems to have dried up now, which is nice. We just couldn't get it running nice. But we seem to be back somewhere where we started, anyway. She isn't missing on idle. Running really sweet. She revs without hesitation. So that's really nice. I think we've got the timing close as possible. Definitely want to check the valve clearances next, but I've got to wait till cold, and then we'll be ready for high tone restorations. Second visit, open day. We did it last year when this was looking a little bit worse for wear, looking a bit better, so looking forward to taking it back. But should start on the key as well. So we know we've got the timing pretty close. Yeah, there we go. I think we're somewhere back to where we started. So valve clearance is next, put the points in, check the point gap. We also rechecked all the points on the plugs and cleaned those up because they were so foul. I think that really helped. Right, let's have dinner. So now they're idling sort of alright-ish. There's still something not quite right. Idle screw is all the way in, the air screw. Otherwise it runs a bit rough. So I think either I'm running it lean or running it very rich. I can't work out which. I think running very lean. The timing, just going to do one more check before I lock it off. However, I've never checked the valve clearances because I always remember when it's hot. And basically, it's probably never been done in its life. It's done 35,000 miles, which for one of these engines, they would probably get checked quite regularly, maybe in an annual service. I'm kind of making that up. I don't know, but I don't know if it's been changed, so I'm going to take it off. I'm not going to paint it. It's very, very tempting to paint this and paint that black, but where do you stop then? Nice bit of patina. We're going to leave it at that. Okay, we could clean it a bit, but yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe we'll get some dirty rags and clean it a little bit. But for now, I'm going to get it running nice and tidy, leave the patina as it is. Okay, so let's do these valve clearances. Should be quite simple. Done when cold. Take this bit off, take that bit off, take that bit off. Doop, doop, doop. Done. Sort of. So that's what it looks like, if you're curious. Old school overhead valve and cam with a chain. And so there's a cam underneath there, and they run on rockers here, which then go to the valve. A nice easy adjustment on either of them. Yes, the hydraulic ones, maintenance free, but actually it's taken me 20 minutes to check them all, adjusted the 3. I'm on my way again. No worries about oil pressure issues and that for the hydraulic tappets and all the rest of it. Really simple. Many reasons why these just carry on running, and modern cars don't. This possibly is one of them. Okay, not as efficient, heavier, bulkier, obviously, blah, blah, blah. Very easy to work on, though. So I found that one inlet was really super tight, not quite sure why, so we've just slackened it off very slightly. It should be 0.1 mil, and I couldn't even get a 0.05 mil in it. And 3 exhaust ones were a bit loose, so it was tiny nip, like 0.3 to 0.25 down. So there we go, job done. Put it all back together, do a final lighting check, and let's take it for a drive, see if that has helped things, get rid of the hesitation. That would be really nice. Great evening, day at the open day at High Tone Restorations. Anywhere near Bicester, go check them out. Thanks for hosting us. Superb pizzas. So it's had a tune-up at Steve's and is now driving really nicely. Got some pressure issues with the fuel tank, which I was about to address. Put a new fuel filter on because the old one was absolutely disgusting. We've got a couple for a journey that I'm preparing for, and I'm planning to go from east to west. Now, the longest day of the year in UK, a lot of people drive from Land's End overnight on the shortest night of the year, middle of June, middle of June, to the east coast. Now, you've got to drive extremely quickly, ridiculous speeds all night to even get a chance. One, that's not going to happen with me, and two, with this vehicle. So I'm going to do the flip. I'm going to get up 4:30 a.m, see the sunrise in Ness Point on the east, drive all the way to Land's End using no motorways, and see the sunset in Cornwall at Land's End. That's the plan. Slight sticky issue. The starter's now dead. So I've just put a new water pump in because the other new water pump, brand new off the shelf, leaked. So we've just spent the afternoon putting a new one in because it's radiator off, etc, etc. Fuel filter in. I've ordered a new air filter because this one's gone rusty. And I thought, oh great, right, let's just see if I can get a charging point for my 14-hour journey. I might need some electric for my phone or cameras. Take you on the way. And I turned the ignition off, turned it back on, went to start it, and it's dead. It did it earlier, gave the starter a whack. I thought it was fine. I thought it was just a bit iffy. So now we're going to take the starter off and see if I can rebuild it with no skills and no idea. So let's find out. So it's not like terrible of a job. Got the cables off, just took the hat off, the air filter hat cables off. The lower bolt, there's a hole in the side of the arch to get through. That was easy. There's only 2 bolts. The other bolt is there, really easy to get to. And the fact they've put a shroud on it there, which means you can't get a spanner on it. And then if it's so close to the gearbox housing, you can't get a ratchet with a short socket. So a long socket, great. That brings you to the brake pipe, and the brake pipe's in the way. So I'm not really sure where the theory was with that shroud. Could just get a spanner on it if it weren't for that shroud. This has to be the biggest starter motor for a 1.1 engine in the world. We whipped it off and cleaned it all up inside and out. Well, not outside, just inside. Solenoid, brushes, everything. Clean all the connections up. Throw it back in. It's testing fine on the bench, so I'm not quite sure if that's just it. And hopefully we've saved ourselves a big panic. Let's put it in back down there and find out. Right then, folks, so this is the truth of the moment. Moment of the truth. Let's try again. This is looking good. I'm going with one more. I'm going to let it run in for a bit because I just squirted loads of fuel down it. Yes! Yes! She runs! She's alive! She's alive! So, get to the washer pump. You either have to have hands the size of a 3-year-old, and I didn't have any 3-year-olds to hand. They've all gone to sleep, all my slaves. Or you pop the grill off, which actually isn't that difficult. 3 screws, the grill pops forward. You could unplug it if you wanted. I just thought I'd leave it hanging. And then the headlight was 3 10mm bolts, well, 2 nuts and a bolt. And I thought, well, they're going to snap off, aren't they? They didn't, amazingly. They would have done on any modern car, but not on this one. And then we have our washer pump, and you can see the problem. The pipe's come off the bottom, and it's loose. So we're going to fix that. We're going to fix the strap, put the pipe back on, and we should be golden again. Whoopie-doo-dah. Right then, let's see if that works. Ignition on. I can't remember which button it is now. There we go. Yeah, that seems fine. I'm just going to send it. It's all like creamy as well. Ugh. No comments. Okay, so it's probably okay, I guess, if I'm driving along at speed. That is quite hilarious. Okay. Well, it works! Yay! So I really need power for this journey, 14 hours, sat-nav, cameras, etc. I could just wire in, which I was thinking about, just a 12-volt supply. But it does have a charger. It has a cigarette lighter, because the French like to light the cigarette as they drive, Anyway, and so I pulled it apart to check it had 12 volts and put on my spare one, which is a bit rusty anyway, and that works fine. So actually the issue is these original cigarette lighter things are very, very long. So we shove one of these in it, which is like a standard size USB charger thing, and you can see the positive terminal doesn't reach. So I'm going to try and modify this to accept a modern one, and that'll help the next owner. And then we'll modify this. We'll probably just take the end off this. These are just lethal. Just how to set your car on fire, one of those. So I'll modify that so that doesn't work anymore, and it just becomes a cap for that. and then I can have the USB charger in the dash. So let's get on with that, shall we? Yes, let's do that. So this is what we came up with. Now we see you got that stainless steel rod in the middle, which sits further up, so that when you put the modern slider in, it makes contact at the back there, and then yeah, it should work. So that's that done. We're going to, as I said, modify this so that it doesn't contact, because at this rate, as soon as you put it in, it will contact and start heating up. So we'll just take the end of that off or something, and then it can just be a blank that sits in there without making contact and melting your finger off. However, I think I've just popped a fuse inside. Well, I popped something inside this. I've just opened it up. There's no fuse. It's now not working. The bigger ones usually have a little glass fuse inside. This doesn't. So that's very annoying, and I don't know anything other way to fix that. It just doesn't want to work now. Brilliant. And it's really useful because it's a twin one. So that's a bit frustrating. Anyway, we'll find something like this in the shop nearby somewhere on the road tomorrow, going in 3 days. We'll refit this. I know it's going to work, and we'll go from there. Right, I think we're done there. Put it all back together. Here's our blank now. Just took the guts basically out the middle, so that can just sit in there looking stock. And then for the journeys, etc., we've just had to get a new one because the other one died. There we go. And we got 2 charging ports, and when I need to like put another socket in that has like for my airbed, you know. Okay. And clean the washer jets out and empty the water because it's just all scummy and slimy coming out. And then check the tracking, check the fluids, and start packing. Nice. There it is. Nice.